All right, we are going live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is day 3 of the science of scaling. How are we looking, Preston? We on? All right. There we go. All right, we are pulling everything up. Day 3 of science of scaling, and we're going to bring it home strong. Hopefully you guys have been with me all 3 days and you're doing the work. Like I say all the time, knowledge without action is not power. Knowledge is not power. Only knowledge put into action. So you got to be doing the work. Each day I've given you homework. Hopefully you're doing that. If you've missed any of this, don't worry. Got your back. Go to the funnel. You can download all the documents, watch the replays, and get caught up with us. All right. Let me just open up my chat so we can make sure everybody's here. And if you guys want to participate in the chat, if you're watching on social media, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, and you want to be in the chat, go to the website. It's free. Go to the website, get in the chat, and then download all the tools and do all that. So first of all, what's up, chat? You guys hear me? Let me know in the comments down below. Can you hear me? How we sounding? How we sounding? Let me make sure you guys can hear me before we go too far. I can hear you. All right, loud and clear. Okay, we're looking good. We're looking good. We had some technical difficulties the other day, but looks like we are all set. So, science of scaling wealth. We're breaking this down into a scientific way, and so we're going to continue doing that. Loud and clear, loud and clear. Okay, we have about an hour today. I'm going to try and get through this pretty quickly. We have some review of some of the homework that we've done, and we got some new homework to go. Like I said, day 3, how I built an 8-figure portfolio twice. I had to do it the second time, and how you can do the same thing. Now, if at any point you just can't stick till the end, but you want to make sure you get all the tools, resources, and you want to talk to me, someone from my team, to find out if we have a course or an option that could work for you. We have everything from courses up to $60,000 coaching programs. If you want to see where you fit in, you can always skip the line. There's a button down below. You can book a call. But we're going to talk about, like I said, the science of scaling wealth and how you can do the same thing. We've been giving you a lot of tools. Now, we've covered a lot of ground. The first 2 days, we've kind of broken down everything from the problem that most people are having when it comes to trying to build their wealth. Now, first of all, we talked about the difference. It's not about being rich. Rich is like high income. Wealth are assets that can continue to grow without us. But the problem that most people are having, and I think you've seen it's been pretty apparent over the last 2 days in the chat roll, that most people are approaching their wealth accumulation, their wealth strategy, whatever you want to call it, retirement plan, whatever it is, your financial independence. Most people, as you can tell from the chat, are approaching this with luck. It's like the lottery ticket is like their goal for retirement. Like, that's not a good plan. All right. You saw in the chat, one of the first exercises that we did was the clarity compass. And most of you just aren't even clear. You've seen that. No clear goals. And if you don't have clear goals, then you can't have a clear plan. And if you don't have a clear plan, you can't have specific time frames. And if you don't have that, then you have no certainty that you'll reach your goal. That doesn't sound very good. You're out there just wandering around like a ship without a sail, driving around. I know I'll get somewhere cool at one point, but I don't know where because I'm not sure where I'm going. I have no plan or directions to get there. How could I have directions? Because I don't know where I'm going. And I don't know how long it's going to take me because I don't even know where I'm going. And then, of course, no certainty I'll ever do. How about you? I guess that's the consensus that I saw in the chat, the comments that I've been getting. But how are you? And so we talked about, what are you feeling inside? Are you feeling Are you feeling like stressed out and anxious when it comes to your money, your investments, about your wealth, about financial independence, about retirement, whatever that is for you? It doesn't matter if you're 25 years old and making high income. You're stressed out because you know the markets could turn down at any moment. You could lose your job. Doesn't matter if you're 72 and you're thinking about retirement. But if you feel stressed or like anxious, then that means that you're not sure what to do. Maybe you're confused. You watch all these different people, you get all this different information, and you're not sure what to choose. You have too many options. Or you're feeling hopeless. You're feeling powerless, like you have no options. You're probably in one of those camps. The problem is, like I said, is most people are just trying to get lucky because they have none of these plans. So they're chasing the hot stop ticks. A lot of you have come onto this asking me if I'm going to give you the best asset to buy. But what's the best asset? You want to know how to buy NFTs or crypto or get into the next AI trend or options trading on Robinhood? That's what a lot of you want. We went through the chat. I'm having a private Zoom after this. We've been talking to you guys, and you've asked me that specifically. Can I just tell you what NFT or crypto to buy? Look, it doesn't work that way. There's a statistician named by the name of Donald Rubin, and he showed in a 2001 scientific research paper that 75% of lottery winners filed bankruptcy in 5 years. Okay, so if all it took was getting lucky with a big win, then why doesn't it work for them? He showed that the average person in their 30s and 40s, given an inheritance or some other large financial gift, quickly lost half the money through spending in poor investments. So even for the people that got lucky and won the lottery or got like a large financial gift or inheritance from somebody, a parent, whatever, they lost it. The average person in the 30s and 40s lost it through spending in poor investment habits. Getting lucky with the NFT, the AI stock, that's not what it takes. Average everyday people make millions and millions of dollars and don't have to worry about money, while people that win millions and millions and millions do. For example, Andrew Jack Whitaker. You probably never heard of him before. In my research, he's the largest lottery winner. He won $315 million, and he lost it all. Imagine that. How do you lose $315 million? Well, it's pretty easy. Billy Bob Harrell. Oh, I got to switch mics. How about Billy Bob Harrell? He won $31 million. He ended up losing it all, and he took his own life. Most of these people, not only did they lose it all, they died miserable. He took his own life. Alex and Rhoda Toth, they won $13 million. They lost it all within 15 years. Then they were charged with tax evasion because they didn't pay their taxes on it. And then they had to do 2 years in prison. And then they got fined and have a judgment for $1.1 million. So getting lucky isn't going to do it. What you need is a system. What you need is a set of algorithms. A system is we have a goal, we create a plan, and we create a system that allows us to get there. That's the way that we track everything, the way that we measure everything, the way that we monitor, the way that we communicate. The algorithms are how it all communicates and talks with each other. We've been going through that for the last couple of days. We have some more worksheets to get done today. So we covered, in the first day, was really about mindset and strategy and systems. We talked about that first. We talked about the 3 critical steps of scaling wealth. We looked at a couple of things. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, we are doing a giveaway. I'm giving away almost $16,000 worth of prizes and cash money. Giving away cash and prizes, $16,000 worth. All you have to do is participate. Go through each 3 days, download the tools, and complete them. All you have to do to me is prove to me that you attended and you did the work. And you do that by clicking on the link and uploading the documents. It's very simple. I'm going to choose 6 winners, 3 from the VIP group, 3 from the non-VIP group, and I'm going to give them cash and other prizes totaling $16,000. You'll see it coming in your email. Check out for the email. There might be other links on the page to do this. So participate all 3 days, download the worksheets, fill them all out, upload them, post some, tell us something that you learned, so we can know that you were paying attention. Tell us some insight that you gained, and you'll be in the running for $16,000 in cash and prizes. Okay, but jumping into the presentation, so day 1, we did some work. And the 2 things that we really wanted to look at were, we looked at your financial portfolio evaluation, and this was sort of just like, how much money are you making? How much money do you have in your investments? All right, we started real high level. And then we went into this worksheet. Hopefully you guys remember this. If you're just tuning in, go back and do this. And we asked you to write down what your goals were, where you're currently at, and what your plan is to achieve that. And we appreciate a lot of you guys. The second day, we went through this. And we really saw that. I call this the clarity compass, the clarity GPS. You know, I reference the GPS all the time. It's how we get to where we want to go in the shortest amount of time. And most of you weren't clear. And again, how can you be going where you want to go if you're not clear on where it is that you're trying to go? So we went through those 2 things. If you missed that, go back and do that work. All right. Now, Then yesterday we got way more tactical. Yesterday we went through a lot of work, and actually I left you with homework. And we went through, again, we always kind of go back to these 3 steps. So the 3 critical steps are, first, you have to build a foundation. If you want to build a house, you want to build this building, first thing you got to do is build the foundation. And that is figure out your destination, where you're trying to go, where you're starting from, and then making that plan. Once you're there, so I first had to grade this lot. I had to then hire an architect and develop the plan. Then you can start to build it. We build in stages. I call this 6-week sprints. We build in stages. First, we do the framing. Then we do the roofing. Then we do the plumbing. And we have meetings regularly where the contractor and the builder and the city inspectors come together, right? So that's how this works. So we've been working through this. Hopefully that's making sense. And then yesterday, we went through a couple other tools that hopefully you guys completed this with some of the homework. So we went through something I call the Financial Freedom Accelerator, all right? So this is where we're going to dig in. I want to make sure that you guys are doing this. So we had looked at the Clarity GPS, and we went through the chat, and most of you guys were telling me what your goals were, but they were completely ambiguous, completely unclear. And when you have a goal that's fuzzy, it's just going to be hard to hit. Just like if I put in my GPS navigator that I want to go somewhere, take me to a restaurant. It doesn't know what restaurant to take me to. At least if I say take me to Thai food, it could narrow it down for me, right? And so there was 2 things that I asked you to do. The first one was this Financial Freedom Accelerator, and it had this worksheet where it was going to help us with one clear goal, very specific goal. I asked you guys to fill this out, and let me know in the chat if you did the work. I'm going to go over here and take a look. Let's see what you guys got. Are you guys, you got Dan Giblin says did all the work. Justin Hartland said did the work. Okay. Costa says done. Yes, yes. Brad R, 4K is my result. Okay. We should be able to get you that, Brad. Pretty easy. I did it, but I can't upload. Done as requested, did the work. Okay, good. All right. So you guys are doing the work. I appreciate that. Congratulations. Look, this is no joke. I have coaching programs, like I said, education programs up to $60,000 coaching programs. And even in those programs where people pay that kind of money, they don't do the work. And look, you're never going to get anywhere if you don't do the work. I constantly say that I'm just a product of the product, meaning I bought a product, I did the work, and I'm the result of that. Okay, did the work. Yes, did it. Okay, started, but we'll finish today. Andrew, come on, Andrew. Finish today. It takes 3 minutes. All right, I'm going to give you some grace. So we did that, hopefully did that, because we're going to use these numbers for today's work. So you have to have these numbers to make sense of what we're going to do. All right, that's why we're recapping real quick. If you missed day 1 and 2, then know that we're just kind of rehashing real quick. You can get caught up. Just go to the funnel. There should be a link linked in one of my social medias. You can go to the funnel. It's free. Download the documents. You can watch the replays. You can get on board with us right now. Okay, we're going to come back. We're going to use this number for later. The second thing that we went over yesterday was this. I call it the Wealth Accelerator Scorecard. Remember, the scorecard in life is not how much money you make. It's the assets. Now, look, this is about money. I get it. Relationships are more important than money. A billionaire on his deathbed wants his family. They don't want money. Look, I'm not saying money is the pursuit of everything, but we're talking about scaling wealth. Okay, so in regards to scaling wealth, your income is not your scorecard. It's the amount of assets that you have. And so we use this Wealth Accelerator Scorecard right here, and it looks like this. Now, this was going to take you a little bit more time, especially if you do it properly, because here you're going to put in what your assets are and what your liabilities are. So it's going to take you total assets minus total liabilities, and it's going to spit it out into a picture like this. These 2 things, now look, there's way more that goes into this, but these 2 things, one, the first document, which was the cash flow, gives us a very specific target, that's like, take me to the Thai food on Del Mar Street. Take me to 123 Cherry Avenue. That's a very specific address. So at least we have one specific goal. There's way more to it, but at least there's one. And this tells us where we're starting from. It's all going to come together as we go through today's exercise. Did you guys do this? Let me see in the chat roll if you got this done. I see Christopher Lewinsky says it wouldn't open properly. That is a Google Doc or Google Sheets. So it just opens on Google and you say file copy. Anybody else have problems copying the Financial Freedom Accelerator? Seems like everybody else got it done. Yes, yes, yes. Took 4 hours. Done. Yeah, I mean, 4 hours. Yes. Completed. Dan Gilbin says, okay, cool. Done. Yes. This is incredible. Where do I sign up? Take my money, Bob. If you want me to take your money, I'm certainly happy to do that. At the bottom, if you're in the funnel, which you are and you're in the chat, at the bottom, there's a button that says skip the line. And you can go ahead and just book a call, and we can do that because the calls are probably going to get pretty booked out. That's why we call it skip the line. Did the work. Yes, sir. Completed. Done for the month. Okay. Larry Nicholson says couldn't make a copy of the worksheets. Okay. All right. We're all good. All right. So now we've got these. So these two things is what we're going to go to now make our plan and strategy. Okay. So how does this work? Remember, I like to keep using this analogy. I'm going to bring it back up again. So in my Google Maps or Waze or whatever you use to navigate, I use it all the time. I'm pretty much always use Waze all the time because I don't know if there's like an accident. I know where I'm going, but I don't know if there's an accident. So I just let it route me around traffic. I've kind of gotten lazy with that. Google Maps, I use it a lot too. So I put in my specific location. That's the Financial Freedom Accelerator. That's the location. Now we know someone said $4,200 a month. Great. So now you have a specific location, a street address. Then it asks where we're starting from. That's the worksheet. That's the scorecard. So we take the Financial Freedom Accelerator, we put that there. We take the scorecard, we put it there. But now we want to come up with a plan and a strategy and a time frame to achieve it. Anybody want that? Anybody want to know what that is? Okay, we're going to do that together. Now, if I do this in Google Maps, it's going to present me options. I highlighted it here. Am I going by car, by train? Am I walking? Am I hitchhiking? Or am I going by bicycle? Now, this gives me time frames. It says here, by car, 1 hour, 9 minutes. By train, 4 hours, 9 minutes. Walking 1 day, bicycle 7 hours. So, depending on what your goal is and where you're at, you have $100,000 and you want $60,000 of passive income, it's going to take 10 years or whatever. We're going to work that out in a second. Okay. So now we have this, and it looks kind of like this. Where's my pen? So here's where you're at. This is your scorecard. So this is your $100,000 of net assets, 10,000, 5,000, 100 million, whatever this is. This is where you're at. What does that look like? Google, like kind of like your app. And this is where you want to go. This is your dream. This is your dream island. This is your dream destination. And what we need to do now is we need to build the bridge to get you from here to there. Okay? So hopefully if you've done the work, you know this, and you know this, and now we're going to build this. Does that sound good? We'll figure out what it's going to take to get there. And once we figure out what this is going to take, then you can understand what you need to do. Do I need a different job? Do I need a new business? Do I need to invest differently? Do I need more capital? And whatever. We're going to come to that. All right? All right. Now, we're going to work on this plan and strategy. I do want to just let you know that this is just enough to get you going. And really, more importantly, it's just enough not only to get you going, but to get you motivated. Because I want to show you how this works. There's a lot more to it. I've pulled out of the entire army of war chest of tools that I've had. I've just grabbed two to make this super simple. I was on a coaching call previous to jumping onto this with one of my higher ticket programs. It's an $18,000 coaching program that I have where I help people with their business to make more money. And someone said, hey, I'm having a problem with the mindset. I want to make a lot of money. I just don't know that I don't believe that I can do it. What can I do to get that confidence? And I said, well, you have to start building confidence by doing little things first, and then you compound that, you scale that. So this is one of those little things. If we can get this going, we get your momentum, like getting your car stuck out of the sand, then you'll get that momentum to get going. Does that make sense? But ultimately what we're trying to do is we want to build an entire operating system, which would have a clearly defined success goal. It would have a detailed plan. It would have a system with the exact steps and timeframes to achieve the success goal. I would then have the system. I would know exactly which assets to buy, when, how they fit into my plan. I'd feel calm. Remember, I told you, depending on how you feel, stressed or anxious or depressed, I'd feel calm. I'd know that everything is where it should be. I'd know that I have all the reports, all the data at my fingertips. I'd be able to just, with a few minutes a month, watch my progress as I'm getting closer and closer to my goals. I'd have all the time that I need. I'd have peace of mind. Remember, I told you 60% of Americans report losing sleep over money. I'd have peace of mind. I'd be able to enjoy my time with my friends and family, like I get to do, travel with my kids while they're still young, and all those things. That's what the sovereign operating system is going to give you. And it's important for a whole bunch of reasons. Like I said, how do we get confidence? Well, we get confidence by achieving goals after goal after goal, and those goals continue to get bigger and bigger and bigger. If I have this operating system and I know that my wealth is scaling and I know it's where it needs to be, I can feel calm because I know there's storms coming. Look, there's going to be a recession coming. We know it. I can guarantee you the market's going to crash. I can't tell you when, but I can guarantee they will. And so I know that I can weather the storms. That in 2008, I wasn't able to weather the storms and it almost killed me. I came back and now I'm making sure that won't happen again. Peace of mind. Ultimately, for me, it allowed me to stop working for money. I love to work. I love helping others. I told you my 3 core values. Helping others is one of them, which is why I love doing what I'm doing. And ultimately, I'm trying to be a good role model for my kids. And I want to even be a good role model for my kids' friends because I think they're the future, right? And I've told you my story. I don't want to go deep into my past. I've told it a million times. If you've been here all 3 days, you've already heard me say it. But I had to build it all up. I was at the top of my game. I retired. I was done. I sold all my business, everything. And in 2008, I got crushed and I had to start all over again. And it's because I didn't understand about this. It took me a long time to figure it out. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars working with all types of coaches, lots of years of trial and error on my own to figure this out. Now I was able to rebuild my wealth in a third of the time that I did the first time. And now I'm trying to teach people the same thing. You give them the same tools that I use. Because again, MC Hammer's broke. Johnny Depp makes 100 million, bankrupt. Lottery winners, I told you, 300 million, broke, committing suicide, in prison for tax evasion. Making money is not, getting lucky to make money is not the plan. It's not enough. All right. Now, if you missed any of this, if you're just tuning in, if you're on social media, go to the website. There should be a link somewhere. You can watch all these videos and you can download everything. And then one more time, I'm giving away $16,000 in cash and prizes. And all you have to do is show me you've participated to be eligible. All right, let's jump in now and let's do today's work. You guys ready? Ready to go? Okay. So back to the islands. All right. So remember in my example yesterday, let's say that I open up my Google Maps and I'm in Los Angeles and I say I'm in Los Angeles at LAX airport and I want to be in Cairo, Egypt, and I want to be there in 1 hour for dinner. Well, that's not super realistic, right? So we have to make sure that our goals are realistic. Well, how do we do that? Well, we do that by choosing first our methods and then looking at the time frames that are available to us. So I can certainly go by bicycle if I have 7 hours, or I can drive my car in 1 hour. Which would I choose? Well, what if I only have a bike? I don't have a car. Then I have to get a car, or I have to use someone else's car, or I have to have someone else drive me, or I call an Uber, right? That's how this works. So if we build out your plan and it's going to take you 14 years to reach your goal, but you want to do it in 4 years and not 14, you're going to have to change your vehicle. That make sense? Change your vehicle. Now, I don't have to own the car to get there in an hour. I could use somebody else's car. You're starting to let things click a little bit. So let me show you what I mean. All right, let's use an actual scenario here. It's just math. Okay, so yesterday I read out somebody's comments. And what did they tell me? They said they want to invest $100,000, remember, and they want 60,000 of passive income. Okay? They want to invest 100,000. This is where they're at. This is where they want to go. Is that realistic? Yes or no? Let me see in the chat. Do you think that's realistic? Yes or no? No. No way. No. No. No? No way? Now at the stock market, maybe with the business. Okay, Brad's kind of getting it. Now at the stock market, maybe with the business. No, 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 no. Okay, time frame. Michael V is asking a good question. Yes, high risk. Not without a lot of risk. Not without a lot of risk. 60% PA is high risk. Yeah, okay. Depends. Okay, so you guys are starting to get it. Some of you are getting it. Somebody said the right thing. I saw it go by, and I didn't see exactly what it was. So most of you guys got it. Not without a lot of risk, but somebody said depends on the time frame. Okay, because there's 3 variables that you have to calculate. I've only given you 2. You have 2 variables. One, you have the amount of capital. All right. You want 60,000, so that means you need a 60% return. So then I would need 60%. So now I know my rate. Let's just call it a yield. All right. So we know 2 variables, but what's the third? The third variable is time. Third variable is time. So let me show you an example of what I'm talking about. It depends on the time frame. Let me do some math for you here. Okay. So if I wanted, let's just say I have 100K and I put it in US Treasury. So a lot of people said depends on the risk. That's absolutely right. So we talked about this yesterday. The more yield I want, either the more work I'm going to have to do or the more risk I'm going to have to take, and maybe a combination of both. So I could YOLO into some crypto DeFi Ponzi scheme and make 50% a month, and there's a good chance I'll probably lose it before I get my money back. I could go into US Treasuries. It's probably the safest. I can make 5%. I can put it in my bank and make 0.5%. Now, if I buy a business, I buy a dry cleaner or a post office box business, maybe I make 50 or 60%, but I have to do more work there. Okay, so let's do the math. So at 100K, if I want to do the lowest amount of work and the lowest amount of risk, I could put it into treasuries and I'd make 5% on my money. All right. If I make 5% on my money, that means I'm making $5,000. But I want 60,000, right? Okay. Well, in order to get to 60,000, I'm going to need 1.2 million at 5% to get the 60K. Okay. So with the 100K at 5%, I can't do it. That's like trying to get to LA. Remember I said by bicycle is 7 hours, by car is 1 hour. So I want to get there in 1 hour, but I only have a bicycle. So I need something to change here. Now, somebody add the right question, which is over what time frame. So what do I mean by that? Time frame. What this person that threw the scenario, I want to invest 100 grand to make 60 grand. What they didn't tell me is over what time frame, which is why your goals have to be specific. So let me give you a rule. It's called a rule of 72. Basically, what this means is that you take the yield that you can earn. So in this case, I'd take 5 divided by 72 shows how long it's going to take to double my money. So if I take 5% divided by 72, it gives me 14.4. So that means my money doubles every 14 years. Now, how much do I have 100K, but I need 1.2 million. How many times does my money have to double? 100 to 200, 200 to 400, 400 to 800, 800 to 1.6. I need 3.5 doubles. So 3.5 times 14.4 equals 50 years. So what does that mean? That means I can put 100K into treasuries at 5%, and within 50 years, it will generate the 60K for me. So it is realistic. You guys said it wasn't. The person who said time frame, depends on the time frame, was right. It is realistic, but it's going to take me 50 years. That's like, is it realistic for me to get to LA on a bike? Yes, if I have 7 years. Now, what if I don't want to wait? What if I don't want to wait 50 years? Okay. So let's take a look at some other scenarios. Let's say I don't want to wait. So if I remember, the rate of return, the yield, is a spectrum between work and risk. So what if I make 100K and I can get 15% yield? Okay. Now that's 15K. Still a long way from my 60K. All right. But now I'm only going to need 400K times 15% to get to the 60K. Okay? But I only have 100. So what do I do in this scenario? Well, I have two things. One, I can wait. We still don't know the time frame. That's why you need to be very clear about your goals. So using the rule of 72, I would need two doubles from 100 to 200, 200 to 400. That's two doubles. 72 divided by 15 means 4.8 years. So it's going to take me 9.6 years to turn the 100 into 400K and reach that. 9 years. Am I okay with that? I don't know. The person that told me this didn't tell me the time frame. So I'm trying to help you figure out, do I take the bike? Do I walk? Do I take a car? Can I use someone else's car? Are you starting to see how this works? So if I want to take 100K and make 60K, the 100K needs to go into 400. At this rate of return, it's going to take me 9.6 years to turn it into that, and then I'll have my number. Am I okay waiting 9.6 years? Now, most of you are probably okay with waiting 9.6 years. There's a quote, I think Bill Gates said it, I'm not his biggest fan, but he said that most of us overestimate what we can do in 1 year, but we underestimate what we can do in 10. And so that means we all think we can make $1 million in a year, but we could probably make, and that's probably very difficult for most people, but we underestimate how easy it is to make 10 million in 10 years, for example. So most of you are thinking that maybe this goal of 60 grand a year is unobtainable for you, but if you have 9.5 years, it's pretty doable, okay? Now, obviously, to get to 15%, it's going to take on more risk or more work, so you're going to have to figure out what that is. So, does that make sense? Let me go to the chat here and see if that makes sense for a second. Dan Giblin says, change your vehicle. That's right. Andrew Booth says, wait 4 years. Brad R says, conceptually, yes. Don't worry, Brad. We're going to now take some real scenarios, okay? This is theory. Well, it was based off of somebody's actual question. Sure, good job explaining, Mark. That does make sense. Okay, looking good, looking good, looking good. All right, now if you're just tuning in, you're on social media, you're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever it is. If you want to get involved in this, you want to download the worksheets. We've been doing this for 3 days. Go to the funnel. It's all for free. You can be involved in the chat, and you can download all these worksheets, and you can go along with us, okay? Okay, so now you're starting to understand the 3 variables: the amount of capital, the rate of return, and the time frame. Those are our 3 levers that we want to work on. It's very simple. So now, let's see. All right, so now what we want to do is go look at what you wrote down in your Financial Freedom Accelerator. That's the tool that we did yesterday. Somebody put in the chat, it was 4,200, whatever your number was, get that number out and write it down. That's going to be this document right here. So whatever you came up with in this number right here, write that number down on a piece of paper, whatever you have. What is the number in your Financial Freedom Accelerator? Write it down. $4,200. Somebody threw that number out. You don't have to put your numbers in there. That's private. That's cool. All right. Now, in that document, on that sheet, there's the farthest right tab has this. It has a calculator I put in there. Okay. This calculator is going to allow you to figure out how much annual income, so you can change this number right here, this green field. How much annual income do you want? 4,200? Well, 42 times 12, so whatever that number would be. 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, 100,000, 100 million, whatever the number is, write it here in this annual income. How much annual income would you like to have passively? And then it's automatically going to populate how much capital is required at these different yields. So if I want 60 grand a year at 12% yield, I need 500 grand. But at 15% yield, I need 400 grand. Okay, so the first thing is, what's this number? How much passive income do you need? That's target number 1. Look at the rate return that's required, or the rate of return and the capital that's required. Okay, you there? Then the next thing is, go to the second tool that we left you with last night, which is the Wealth Accelerator Scorecard. And then what's your number there? So in your financial freedom, what's your passive number? And then in the accumulator scorecard, what's the number there? What are those two? Let's just say someone said 4,200 before, and maybe this is 10,000. I don't know. Do you have those two numbers? Just give me a yes, thumbs up, something like that. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, you're doing it. You're doing it. Okay, good. Okay, so now that we have this, so now remember, we have the three variables. The three variables. We have the, let me close this. Anybody remember what the three variables are? Capital. Let's call this is the target. Let's call this the target. So this is how much passive I want. 2 is the capital I have. This is my scorecard. Equals my capital. And then I have my yield. Okay, these are the things. Now time, you can't get any more time. We can try to decrease the time, but you can't get any more time. We can't really move that. We move these three to change the time. Does that make sense? So time isn't really a variable because you can't get more of it. What you can do is you can change the yield. What you can do is you can get more capital. What you can do is change the amount of passive income you want, but you can't change the time. We move these three to change the time. Does that make sense? Okay, so we need capital. Now, as I said, like with the car, I can ride a bike to LAX. It's going to take me 7 hours, or I can go in a car for an hour. I don't have a car. So can I get a car? Can I afford a car? Can I save up and buy a car? Can I use OPM, other people's money? Can I use other people's cars? Yield. What can I do with the yield? Well, I need better assets. I need a better mix of assets. I need a more risk or reward. I need to do more work or more passive. Those are the levers that I have on the yield side. Remember, if I want to buy a post office business or a dry cleaner, I could probably make 60 or 80% on my money. It just takes more work and there's more risk. If I just do treasuries, there's less risk, less yield, okay? So remember, there's 3 types of capital though. So we need, this is the capital. There's 3 types. Does anybody remember what they are? Put in the chat if you know what they are. Nobody remembers what types of capital we have. If you're just tuning in on social media, if you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, we're over in the funnel on the website. It's all for free, but you can join in the chat. You can download all these tools and trackers so we can help you achieve your goals. No. Mental, relational, and financial. Yes, Ross got it right. Ding, ding, ding. Ross DeLacy, you're the winner. Mental is 1, relational. Glenda's got 2 of them. Good job, Glenda. Skills, relationships. Some of you have 2. You're missing 3. So yes, it was mental, it was relational, and it was financial. Those are the 3. All right. Now, financial capital is the hardest to get. But mental capital, these are skills. This is my education. This is ideas. So like yesterday in the chat, you guys were asking me, well, what types of assets could I invest into that gives me the best yield? So you need ideas and you need education. That's mental capital. What about relational capital? Some of you guys asked me if I did hard money lending, if I can connect people in my network. That would be relational capital. That's my community. That's a network. So you need that. Now, most of us, wherever we live, we don't have that. It's one of the reasons why I travel so much. Once a month, I'm out at a different conference, different event, different mastermind, investing in my own education. But really what I'm trying to do, the reason why I join these $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 masterminds is really to expand my network. Because I do one deal with one of those people there and it pays me multiple times returns on that. Now, what I saw yesterday was a lot of questions that I think were the wrong question. I say it all the time. The quality of your life comes down to the questions that you ask, the quality of the questions that you ask. Everyone thinks ChatGPT is going to change the world. No, because most people have stupid questions. Hey, ChatGPT, write me a book. Doesn't know what book to write you. So what I was getting asked a lot yesterday, you're asking me, what is the best investment or asset? Because you want to get a better yield. You want to get a better return, right? You don't realize there's actually multiple levers here. So you would ask me, what's the best investment? What's the best asset? But that's the wrong question. The right question is, how could I learn enough about investing to where I know the right investment to go into? That's the better question. My typical answer is it depends. It depends on who you are, what age you are, how much capital you have, what your interests are, what your skill set is. Like, it depends on all those things. But really the right question is, how can I learn enough to know the right investment to go into, as opposed to being told? So you want to invest into learning until the answer is just obvious to you. Okay. Now, real quick, if you're on social media, you're on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, go to the website. It's all for free. You can log in. You can be in the chat. You can download all these tools that we've been going through. You can get the recordings, the replays, or whatever. Watch all that. Also, don't forget the giveaway. I'm giving away $16,000 in cash and prizes just to make sure that you are paying attention. Okay, now that we understand this, we can start to make a plan for what we want to do. The 3 variables. You know where your goal is. I want $4,000 a month of passive income. That would be what, $48,000 a year. So $48,000 a year, $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year. So I know that. And then I know my scorecard. I know how much capital I have. Then all I have to do is I'll say, at these yields, 5, 10, 15%, 20%, how long will it take me playing the game of doubles? Now, if you don't like that answer, then you need either a higher yield or you need more capital. Does that sound pretty straightforward? Before I move into the next part, does that seem straightforward? So how much passive income do I need and how much capital do I have? You have those 2 figured out. Then, at which rate of return do I need to achieve my goal? And playing the game of doubles, how long will it take me to get there? Makes complete sense. Janice, okay. I want to make sure you guys get this before I move on. You know how much passive income you want. You know how much capital you have. At those rates of returns, it's going to take you this long playing the double game. So now that you know where you want to go and you know where you're at, you know how long it's going to take you to get your goal. If you don't like that goal, then you have 2 things to do. 1, I need a better yield, or 2, I need more capital. Are we clear on that? Josh says, I just finished school. I have goals and I have liquidity from an inheritance, but I have no job. It's hard to assess with these variables. I don't know why the job has anything to do with it. Nothing on that calculation did we talk about income, right? We never talked about income. Job or no job doesn't matter for what we're doing here. Now, look, I told you this is just one tool. To really help you out, like with my coaching clients, we go through a ton of data. All right. I'm just giving you one simple tool. But in this calculation, to the point that you're making, we said, how much passive income do you want? And how much capital do you have? And that's it. There was no income qualification on there. Yes, understood. I need more relational and financial. Yeah, G McKee, you need more relational and financial. As I kind of said before, you guys are all asking about like the best investments to get into. People with money are always looking for places to invest. So really the financial capital is the least important one because there's always money for good deals. What you need is the mental capital to spot the good idea. You need the mental capital to execute on the good idea. But if you have a great idea and you can execute on it, I guarantee you that money will come. Okay. Paula says, I need private guidance sessions with you. Didn't understand very well. Well, Paula, there's a button that says skip the line if you want to book a call. Or after this, we're doing a private Zoom. It's a $27 upgrade if you want to get in the Zoom room and you can be there. Or drop the question here. I'll see if I can answer it. Glenda, you're asking about the formula on the line is a straight line, but it's not compounding. That should help in scaling the income faster. So the rule of 72 takes into account compounding. So on that sheet, it didn't have anything about time frame. It was just this much capital is required to get this much passive income at this current rate. To calculate the time, we have to do the rule of 72 that I just showed you there. Why do I need to take into account my 401k if my goal's time frame is 5 to 10 years and this money is not accessible until I retire? Dan, that money is always accessible. What do you mean it's not available until you retire? Really? You can't get it? Nothing you can do? 100% guaranteed? Because as far as I know, there's lots of ways to get that money. You can claim a hardship. You can pay the taxes. You can roll it over into a self-directed plan. There's lots of options. Okay, let's keep going then. Not a lot of questions there. Great. So now, look at the difference. I love seeing these comments, by the way. I'm going to stand over here for a second, Preston. I love those comments, by the way. I love these questions, by the way, because what I'm seeing is how this little bit of clarity is already helping. I mean, this is just minuscule, right? Obviously, to build a wealth system and an operating system, there's a lot more to it. If you really want to speed up the gap, there's a lot more to it. But just imagine just this little bit of clarity, just having one clear target and understanding exactly where you are, all of a sudden, like it starts to become a reality. Remember the quote that we talked about on the first day, which is just basically paraphrasing, is that when you see something as a goal, but it seems unattainable, you have no motivation to try. So most of you have been taught that you have to save for retirement. How much you need? I need $5 million. Well, how the heck am I going to get $5 million? I might as well not even try, which is why half of all baby boomers have no savings, because they just go, well, I can't get 5 million. And so just this little gap, all of a sudden you have some clarity. Now, what if there was a way to just invest a one-time $5,000 or $10,000 and wait 6 or 7 years and just have it with no more money? You see? These are all little things that you can do when you have a little bit more information. But with this clarity, you have a goal, you see where you're at. Then the question I would ask you, I asked you the first day, is why don't you already have it? Now you're clear on where you want to go and you're clear on where you're at. So the question is, why are you still where you're at? Why don't you have that? What's holding you back? Well, maybe one, you're working on the wrong things. Wouldn't that be obvious? I know what I want. I know I want $10,000 of passive income, but I don't have it. I work really hard, so why don't I have what I want? Well, I must be working on the wrong things, or I'm missing some piece of information that I just don't have. What is that? Well, what do they say? You don't know what you don't know, right? So what is it? What is it that's holding you back? So we have a system that we follow. I can't go through the whole thing with you, but this is the high level outline of it. And it's one of these things that are holding you back. Now this moves linear like this, okay? So it's sort of like the way AI works. Is AI hits a wall and it tries to fix, get past, and then finally it gets through and then it hits the next problem. Solve, gets through the next problem. So the first thing is clarity. So this is what we've been working on. We got you clear on one goal in one starting position. Then, okay, well now I got a goal, cool, but how do I achieve it? So now we worked on a strategy for the one goal, right? Now that we got a strategy, now we have to build the system to make sure we get there. So now that you know, okay, I want the $50,000 of passive income and I have 100 grand, that's my goal. I need a strategy. Okay, so what I need is I need to wait 6 years and I need to add $50,000 more capital. That's my strategy. Then I need a system to make sure I get through with that. Does that make sense? And then each one will continue to identify the next gap that we have to do. And this is how you scientifically scale your wealth in a fraction of the time. Because you have to quickly identify the gap. Now, I have another tool. You should have got it emailed to you. Check your email. I think you can download it on the website as well. There's another tool right here. It's called the Life Will Assessment. Let's go ahead and open this up. You guys have that? The Life Will Assessment. It should have either been emailed to you, like I said, or you probably can download it on the website. If you're watching on social media, if you're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, go to the website. It's all for free. You can download these things. You can be in the chat with me right here. Steven says you have a newborn, you're unable to get the passive income calculator or math equation. Don't worry, Steven. Just go back to the website, click on the day before, and download it. So it's still there for you. Okay, you got it. All right. So if you open this up, if you don't have this, you could just grab a piece of paper, I suppose. But this is another thing. Look, I know this sounds too simple, but this is the way. Remember, I told you the first day, everybody wants it to be some great big mystery that if you can just solve it, it's easy. But the fact is, it's simple, but it's just not. But it's hard. So we have to identify where we need the work, and we have to put the work in. Right? Simple. So first thing, on a scale of 1 to 10, how well are you tracking your money and your investments? How well? Do you know where every single penny is going to go on the first of the month before you spend it? Or you get to the end of the month and you wonder where it went? Did you already know exactly what your passive income goals were and how much your scorecard was worth? Did you already know that? How well on a scale of 1 to 10 are you tracking your wealth? On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are your systems? Do your systems talk to each other? Does it automatically pull your data online? Does it print it into reports that you can see? Do your advisors see that information where they can tell you if there's something that looks out of whack? Do you have money that automatically flows into accounts and goes into your amortization accounts, goes into your savings, goes into your bills? Do you have all that? Are your systems in place? On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank that? Do you have a plan? So we worked through a little plan. So, okay, at least I know how much passive I want and how much what I have. Now I need to figure out the time frames and how much I need to add. How well is your plan? Do you have a detailed plan? Do you know exactly what you'll be doing in 6 months, 9 months, 12 months? On a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate that plan? What about how are you managing risk? Okay, so as I said, I can guarantee you there's going to be a turn down on the market coming. I don't know when, but I know it's coming because it always does. So how well am I managing that? How prepared am I? Do I have my assets in multiple allocations that can balance each other out, like we talked about Ray Dalio's portfolio yesterday? Or am I just YOLO'd into one crypto position, or I'm diversified across crypto? So how am I managing risk? Am I using stop losses? Do I have insurance? Am I hedging my positions with shorts and stops and options? Do I have mentors? Do I have people in my circle that I talk to regularly that are where I would like to be in my life in the future and can help me? Most of us get information from people we should not be getting information from. Somebody who's overweight, I'm probably not going to listen to them about how to lose weight. Someone who's broke should not be giving you information about getting rich. Do you have good mentors on a scale of 1 to 10? And then are you diversified? How well do you have your income streams broken up? So maybe tracking, you're a 4. Maybe on your systems, you're an 8. Your plan, you haven't really planned, so you're a 2. You think you're managed risk okay, maybe you're a 6. You have really good mentors, that's cool. Let's give that a 10. And you're diversified with your income stream, now you're probably a 2. Now, if I connect those dots, that's not a round wheel. It's not a round wheel. It's not going to roll very good. You're not going to get to your destination. Imagine if your car wheel looked like that. How fast are you going to go? You're not going to go very fast at all. So this identifies, we looked at the 8 constraints, and then we use this, and we go, shoot, okay, we need to get this up first. This needs a lot of work right here. Let's work on that. The systems is okay. You're not really tracking anything. So let's get a plan going, and then let's track our progress to the plan. And then maybe let's start to diversify out some of your income streams. Now, if we can get it like that, we're starting to get more round. Then we can move this down a little bit. You starting to understand? Do you have any questions about that? Anybody have any questions about any of that? Ross says, my wheel is ugly. Yeah, most of it is. Look, most people don't do any of this because they don't want to see the answers. I get it. I'm going to be honest with you. I avoid looking at some data sometimes too because I don't want to see the answers. I do it too. We all do. But that doesn't help me fix it. Ayn Rand, the author of Atlas Shrugged, she says that we can choose to ignore reality, but we can't ignore the consequences of reality. I say that the ostrich can put its head in the sand, but it doesn't stop it from getting eaten. So look, I'm there. I avoid looking at some stuff. Sometimes I don't want to deal with it. We all do. But if we want to get better, we're going to have to take a look at it. Okay. Michelle V says, asking if mentors are real people I interact with, or does it include watching vids like yours and Kiko? Michelle, I would say it's people that you can actually interact with, because you want people that know you, that can give you information to help you move forward. So certainly you should certainly read books, and you should certainly listen to podcasts and watch videos. You should certainly do that. But I would consider a mentor somebody that you could talk to that's achieved something that you want to achieve. Brad R says, can you give me a sense of how I score scale the numbers? What's the difference between, say, a score of 1 or 3? Well, it's a scale of 1 to 10. So just figure out we're on a scale of 1 to 3. I don't know what the differences of 1 to 3 would be. It depends on where we're at. Steven says, you just caught the end where I talked about the rule of 72. If you've missed any of this, you're on social media, you just tuned in, you're on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, go to the website. It's all free. You can download all the worksheets that we're working on here, and you can watch the replays of this, okay? I'm not going to go back and repeat all that. Steen says, my wheel is fairly round. It's all just 2s. Well, Steen, yeah. So your flat tire is round. Okay. Brad says, I can't be higher than 3 on any of them. Yeah. So you should certainly work on that. Okay. Now let's keep going. Now, going back to, let's see. Going back to the bridge. Come on. Going back to the bridge, are you starting to see how just this little bit of clarity helps? I talked about yesterday, like the further ahead you can see, the faster you can go. If I'm going through the desert on a straight long road, I can do 125 miles an hour. If I'm in fog and rain, I got to slow way down because I can't see. And so just this little bit of clarity is making a big difference, right? I can already see the questions. I appreciate you guys sharing that. But imagine having all the tools. Imagine being able to see all the way around you all the time. Imagine knowing what you'd be doing in month 3, 6, 9, 12, 18. Imagine knowing where you'd be in year 5. You know, I talked about the feelings that you might have. If you're feeling stressed and anxious, it's because you don't know what to do. You're confused. You're not sure what your next move is. So we have to do some of these 8 constraints. We got to do the life wheel. We got to figure out where your next move is. Maybe you're feeling helpless. You're feeling hopeless because nothing you can do matters. Well, that's also wrong, and we can fix that, right? What we want by creating a wealth operating system is to have a clearly defined success goal. We want to have a detailed plan and a system with the steps and the time frames to achieve each of those success goals. You know, I talked about in my own business, I can imagine the end so well. I want it right now that it creates stress in my life. Why don't I have that now? And so when I make the plan, maybe it's a 12, 18 month, 24 month plan, I can feel good knowing that I'm not going to do that for 12 months. And that's just okay. Right? We can only feel good about what we're not doing. We know we're not doing it. So when I have that clearly defined success goal, if you have a detailed plan with a system with steps and time frames, then you can feel good. You're like, hey, at the rate I'm going, in the next 6 years, I'm going to reach my goal. That's fine. 6 years is perfect. I like my job. I'm going to work till my kids graduate high school anyway. Perfect. I feel good about it. And then you're good. Or maybe you're not good. Well, then you can start to identify exactly what it is that you need to be working on to get past that, right? Then once you have that, you'll know exactly which assets you should buy, when you should buy them, because then you'll know how they fit into your plan. Without a plan, you have no idea what assets to buy, which is why when people ask me, what are the best assets to buy? I don't know. I don't know what your plan is. I don't know what you need. And my plan changes all the time. And you can feel calm. Because like I said, you have the reports, you have the data at your fingertips all the time. And you can just watch as you get closer and closer and closer to your goal. Peace of mind, time. And really what you need, remember, we have the mental, the financial and relationship capital. The mental capital is the education on how to pull these levers. Remember, we only have a couple levers. It's not that hard. We can use these tools to identify what it is, but we need to know, we have to have the mental capital, the education to know how to pull them. We have yield, we have capital, and we have 3 types of capital, right? We break all that down to the 3 steps. All right, so let me show you kind of how I do this with the coaching clients that I work on. So we kind of break this down. We've all of this needs to be done systematically, right? So I've already kind of shown you how this works. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we have everything built out properly. So it sort of works like this. So in the beginning, we really need to spend a lot of time figuring out exactly where we're at and where we want to go. This is the assess phase. Remember the pyramid with the three steps. So the first thing we have to do is we have to really assess where we are and where we want to go. That's this. We have to build this foundation. So this is kind of what we've been working on, but we just work through one thing. We'll get a full 360-degree view of this, and we'll spend a few weeks building the assess and the destination. Once that's done, then we'll spend time clarifying the goals, and then we'll create the plan and the strategy. We'll figure out exactly what time frame it is, what levers you have to pull, what your time frame is, what your rate of return is, what your yield is, and then the ideas, the mental capital and relational capital of what ideas we have to help you achieve that. So we'll spend about 4 to 6 weeks just getting that done. All right. So now the system is up. That's the foundation. The foundation is laid. I know what I'm doing. All my systems are in place. They're all talking to each other. Now it's time to start growing. Back to the analogy, if I want to put on weight in the gym, I have to have a goal. I want to put on 10 pounds of weight of muscle to compete in this fitness competition on this specific date. That's a goal. Then the plan is that I'm going to eat more calories and I'm going to lift heavy weights. And then the strategy is, how do I track my calories? Who are my coaches? Who's reviewing my data? Who's watching me work out? How am I tracking my work? That's the system. Once all of that is set up, the system is set up, then it's time to start doing it. Now I have to go into sprints. So what I would do is I would bulk up. I'd eat a bunch of calories. I'd lift super heavy. I'd do that for maybe 6 or 8 weeks. And then I would go into a cutting phase. I'd cut my calories and slim down. Then I'd bulk up again and I'd cut down. And we want to do the exact same thing with our wealth. So we'll spend about 6 or 8 weeks building out all our systems, getting very clear on where we're going, where we're at, and how we're going to do that. Then we use these sprint cycles. So once a quarter, I make a sprint. It's a 90-day plan. If you strategically plan 90 days, you can get more done in 90 days than most people get done in a whole year. Okay? I've been doing this for years. I've been coaching people with it. I've seen it hundreds of times. 90 days of strategic time, you can get done more than most people do in a year. Now imagine getting 3 of those sprint cycles done in 1 single year. Okay? So once the system is all built, we go into the sprint cycles, just like a bulk and a cutting phase. All right? Number 1, we have sprint. Now, what do we sprint on? Well, it depends. Do you need more knowledge, more mental capital? Do you need more financial capital? Or do you need more? So we have a bankable knowledge. This is about getting more knowledge, more mental capital. We have 7-figure opportunities. This is the wealth accelerator. This is the capital one, financial capital. Or we have the time multiplier if you need more time. Now, a lot of you say, well, I don't have time for this, so we need to figure out how to get more time back. So we'll do that. Then we'll go into a 6-week kind of, a slim down schedule again, kind of get back to normal, reset. Then we'll go into another sprint. Now, depending on, you might do the first sprint on knowledge, the next one on adding more capital, or maybe you want them all on capital. That's fine. And then you kind of bulk down, kind of calm down, reassess, and then you go into the next sprint cycle. That's how this works. Now, as far as the relational capital, all of this is done inside of a community with mentors and people just like you working to the same common goals. Now, this is what the Sovereign Operating System, the Wealth Accelerator, is all about. There's 8 modules of training that are instructional training, videos, all the downloads, all the reports, everything you need, similar to what we've done here, except for way deeper, way more involved. And in the Sovereign OS Wealth Accelerator, you're going to get access to this entire thing for life. All right. Inside the entire Sovereign Operating System Wealth Accelerator, you're going to get all the toolbox, I call it, the toolbox, which is, you've seen 2 or 3 of the tools. There's a whole slew of tools that you're going to get access to really fast track your results. You're going to get the Wealth Dashboard Builder, so you'll know exactly how to plug and play and build out the wealth. All right. You're going to get the quarterly sprint workshops. As I just showed you, we'll go through 3 quarterly sprints in a year. It's a value of $1,497 just for that alone. Now, as a bonus, I'm also going to give you the Sovereign OS Wealth Growth Accelerator, a growth flywheel to generate at least 7 figures. That's a $1,000 value just for that bonus alone. And then for the relational capital, like I said, I'm going to give you the Sovereign Operating System Community. There's an app. We have our own app you can download on your phone, access it whenever you want, 24/7. And the access to the Sovereign Operating System Community and Tribe, it's priceless. I've seen a lot of you say, I don't know where I get access to a community or mentors. Well, it's all there waiting for you. Now, if you add this up, it's a total value of almost $12,000. But of course, you're not going to have to pay that. I've got a very special offer because you've been with me for three days. And the regular price is $4,997. But if you take advantage of it during this live event, I'm going to take $1,000 off. And it's going to be only one single payment of $3,997. All right. And you're going to get all that. You're going to get the ongoing access to all modules, all 8 modules of the Sovereign Operating System. It's a $5,000 value. The entire Operating System's Wealth Accelerator toolbox, all the tools, you've seen 3 or 4 of them. You're going to get all of them. It's a $1,000 value. You're going to get the Wealth Dashboard Builder, so you can build out your wealth dashboard, $500 value. You're going to get 6 deep dives, so we can continue to implement each piece of this operating system, a $2,000 value. You're going to get the quarterly sprints, as we just talked about, 3 quarterly sprints in a year. It's a $1,500 value. You get the Wealth Accelerator, a growth flywheel for a 7-figure income, that's a $1,000 value. And then the community, the app, the community, the tribe, all of that's priceless for one simple payment of $3,997. Now, I have one more thing, and then I'll jump into some questions for you here. One more thing. For 12 people, only 12 people, I have an opportunity for you to come here to my studio, and we're going to do an in-person event. In person, I'm going to give you 2 tickets so you can bring you and your partner for a 2-day live event. That's a $20,000 value. I'm going to give you one-on-one feedback and coaching from me and the other experts that I'm going to bring in to make sure that you get all this done right the first time. And I'm going to give you 8 momentum coaching calls on the back end to make sure that you implement all the key pieces of your new operating system. All right. So this is 1, you can do it over the course of the year through the digital course, or 2, you can come into my studio and work directly with me and have it all done in 48 hours. So those are 2 options that we have, depending on how you want to work with me. And I just want to say that I know there's probably a lot of questions about this, and that's fine. I'm going to take some of your questions right now. If you'd like, tomorrow, I'm going to do another call, but it's going to be a private call where I'm going to help you really integrate this stuff, and I'm going to answer questions that you might have about this. All right. If you want to get on that call tomorrow, there's a link that you can get on, and I am asking for a $250 deposit. That's it. And the reason why I have that is I just want to kind of eliminate some of the tire kickers so we can have a very small, intimate group. If for whatever reason you don't think this is the right opportunity for you, you don't like it, then the $250 is totally refundable. No big deal. But if you want to be in that room, then that's what I'm asking for, just so I can, like I said, get rid of the tire kickers and we can really have a small, intimate group where I answer all your questions. Now, you should see a link up on the screen, a QR code or something like that, where you can go to there and you can go ahead and sign up. There's only 12 spots for the inside event. And then there's the other thing as well. So I think there's a QR code on your screen. There's a link that you can go to on your screen as well. I'm going to stick around. I'm going to answer some questions. If you're watching on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, you can go to the website. You can download all the tools from the toolbox that we've given over the last couple of days, as well as you can watch all the previous videos as well. All right. We've given away massive value. You don't want to miss it. Go to the website. And if you've been paying attention, upload all the work that you've done over the last couple of days and enter to win $16,000 in cash and prizes. I'm giving that to you because it's my way of incentivizing you just to do the work. You're already here. I don't need to incentivize you anymore, but I want to incentivize you to do the work. So do the work, submit it, and you'll be entered to win that money, cash and prizes. Okay. Brent says that the QR code is fuzzy. Brent, there should also be a link that you can punch in if you need to do that. Roger, I don't know if you're in the chat. I don't know if maybe you could just put the link in the chat and pin it, Roger. Or Preston, are you in the chat?
It's on the screen.
Oh, it should be on the screen right now. I'm going to go ahead and just pin it in the chat right here as well. I don't know if I can pin it in the chat, but it's in the chat. All right, so let's just recap real quick, and then we'll do a little bit of question and answer, and then I'm going to go jump into the private Zoom for the VIPs. So we went through the biggest problem that most people have, why they're not achieving their wealth goals. It's not because you don't know the NFT or the crypto or whatever asset to buy. That's not it. The problem is that you're not clear on where you're trying to go. You have no plan, and that's creating either anxiety or depression in your life. You know this. 60% of Americans are losing sleep over money. All right? You're not clear on what you want to do. It's not about the amount of money that you make. I talked about yesterday, I play this game Cash Flow with my kids, Robert Kiyosaki's game. And when I play them, I give them the highest income player, and I choose the lowest income player, and I beat them every time. Because it's not about the amount of income, it's the way that you play the game. All right? So the problem that you have is that you're not clear on what you're doing. You don't have a good plan, and you're anxious and depressed because of that. The opportunity is that if I create a system that clearly identifies exactly where I'm trying to go, exactly where I'm at, I can then make a plan and a strategy with timeframes that will show me exactly which levers that I need to pull. Remember, I either need a better yield, or I need more capital, or I need more time. It shows me which of those levers are, and then through my mental capital and my relational capital, I can change those levers. I can add more capital, or I can change the yield that I get, all right? When I have a system that lets me do that, then I'm stress-free, then I'm happy. Then I sleep good at night, I have good relationships with my friends, my family, I get to take vacations with my kids because I know that I'm on track. I know that in 5 years or 6 years or 7 years or 2 years or 1 year or whatever it is, I'm going to achieve my goal. I know that I'm set to sidestep any recessions, depressions, or anything that's going to happen to me. And I know that I'm going to achieve my goal fast. That's how I was able to do it. All right. Now, of course, there's two levers. We need better yield and more capital. Some of you might just need more capital, which is why we do the quarterly sprints. 3 quarterly sprints over the next year to add more capital by either 1, giving you knowledge, the bankable knowledge, or 2, the 7-figure sprints. So we'll show you new ideas where you can add 7 figures of income in a year to your business. Okay. And if you want to skip the line, I think there's a link at the bottom of the page. If you're watching on social media, go to the funnel, get all this stuff for free. If you want to skip the line, you can book a call there. Okay, tomorrow and Friday, being Friday, we're going to preview this whole thing. We're going to go through your own strategy plan implementation. And that's it. Let's see. Do you guys have any questions about that in the chat? I do want to say congratulations to everybody. You've made it through 3 full days with me. If you're on social media, hopefully you went to the funnel and you download all the stuff. It's all for free. You've made it through 3 full days. And what I want to say is congratulations, because I was talking about earlier, the way that we build confidence is by taking small steps, taking action on those, and then compounding that. The reason why most people have no confidence is because they haven't done anything in life to give them confidence. But look, you signed up, you showed up, you stayed to the end, and you did the work. You're well on your way. You just have to continue, right? I handed you a little bit of a system, and hopefully knowing where you want to go, where you're at, and knowing how to calculate the time frame is enough to kickstart you and get you going, all right? I gave you a little bit of a hand up, but it's up to you to keep going. But I believe in you. I know you can do it because the very fact that other people do it every day means you can as well. It's like the 4-minute mile, right? Humans couldn't run a mile in 4 minutes. It was humanly impossible. But as soon as one person did it, then hundreds of people did it, like in the first year. So I know you can do it. The only thing I'd say is I'd love to get feedback from you. So if you'd love to let me know how we did, what you would have liked to learn more of or less of, or what I'd really like to hear is one thing that really stood out to you or changed your life. And if you could share that on social media, I'd love you for it. I went live 3 days for you. If you could give me one little post or shout out on social media, I'd love you for it. that's kind of what we got. Oh, also, if you want to get a hold of me, you got a bunch of emails from me. You can reply to any email. So if you have any questions at all about anything, any questions, just reply to any single email. It goes into our help desk. You can also hit me up on a DM on social media, and we'll get back to you there. So if there's no appointments, you want to find out about payments, you have more questions, you want to book me to come speak at an event, whatever, just reply to any, you tell me how much you love this, or you want to tell me how much you hated it. I don't care. Reply to any email, send a message, hit me up on a DM on social media. Oh, and don't miss out on your chance to win the $16,000 worth of cash and prizes. All you got to do is upload your work to show me you participated and give me a shout out on social media with one thing that you learned at this event. That's all I'm asking. We're giving away 6 people are going to win cash and prizes. 6 people, including free subscriptions to this product. Okay. Tina asks, how long do we have to upload? I said by the end of the day, but I think I'm going to let it go till Sunday. So you'll have until Sunday to get that uploaded. Christopher Lewinsky says, Mark, upload what? Upload all the worksheets. So over the last couple of days, you've downloaded, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 different worksheets, and you were supposed to fill them out. And I want you to upload that. There's a page called giveaways, and it has all the information on there. Preston, maybe you can cue that up on the screen. So check your emails. You would have seen some emails coming through with a link. You can go to that page. It has all the details of what we're giving away, a button that you can upload your documents and things like that. Like I said, we'll leave that till Sunday. It was going to be by the end of the day, but I think we'll just leave it till Sunday. All right, and that's it. We're going to sign off. I'm going to go over to the Zoom room. So any of you VIPs, if you paid the $27 for the VIP to buy the recordings and join the Zoom room, I'll meet you over there. And with that, we'll reply to any email if you need me, or hit me up on DMs on social media. All right, to your success. I'm out.